Hello again, friends. Welcome to another edition of Beavertown Outdoors. I'm John, and today we're going to be doing some filing. Okay, so while I was at the Paul Bunyan show, I've shown some other videos, some of the cool stuff I got. I got the new bar and the chain for the Husqvarna, and one of the things I picked up while I was there was one of these. This is let's see if you hope you can see it. It's a Husqvarna File Gauge for 3/8 chain. They market it for the CNS 83, 85 series chains, and I got that, and so I got that, and something to try, right? I mean, I've shown a couple of different ways I sharpen chains here. I've got everything from files to the 2-in-1s, the ease-do, like Dremel type, rotary grinder basically, and then I got the bench grinder. No one solution is right for every situation or every time I want to sharpen, and it's neat to have different methods to do to file your chains or sharpen your chains. You might be in a different situation. It might be somewhere you don't have power, and it's good to have different options. So thought I'd give this a try. Didn't see on my last video, which if you didn't see, go back and watch it. I was trying the new chain and new bar out, and it's one of those things I guess can happen first time using a bar, a 32-inch bar. I got the nose into the dirt on a cut, and I didn't chew up the chain too bad. Really, I mean, it still feels pretty sharp. But you could tell by how it was cutting, right, that it wasn't quite as sharp as it was. So I thought, it'd be a good time to try this and see how it does. Where we're not really trying to rehab a chain, we're just touching up an edge a little bit. So that's typically what I use the files for, right? So I've had the 2-in-1 file system from Steel, or I think Husqvarna and a bunch of others make them now. And that works pretty good. It does. It's an easy way to file if you're not that good with a file. A lot of people can freehand, and I haven't gotten there yet to where I'm comfortable doing that. But what I have used in the past is one of these with a standard file. And you've never seen these. It's a little guide, has some little witness marks on it to help keep your angle. Doesn't really do much for you as far as keeping you from tipping the file, I guess. That as far as instructions, they say 0 degree angle on these, so which means you're supposed to file these flat with the tooth and handle there a little better. So this doesn't really help you that much with that. This is supposed to help you out there, which I'm going to get this out of the box. Now, I tried reading the instructions, but just a word to, I don't know, if you're selling tools, and the instructions are on the back of the packaging, try not to put your label on there if it's that big. At least try not to put on there where it's going to cover it up. But anyway, that is what it is. I've seen some videos online. Yeah, I watch YouTube videos too. Like everybody else. If you're watching this, you watch YouTube videos. Yeah. Sometimes for entertainment value, sometimes to learn stuff, right? So here's the little guide, and it just basically sits on a tooth, and it's got a couple of rollers. And the idea behind this is that this helps you roll along, and if you're engaging both of these rollers, that means you're at 90. That's as far as I see it. One of the other neat things with this is, and you can buy these. These are about the only ones you can buy I've seen them at the pro shops. That comes with. This has a progressive depth gauge, which if you've never seen how one of those works, typically the ones I use, here's one of the ones that I've been using, and you can order these on Amazon. They don't, for whatever reason, they don't seem to stock them in the stores or in the pro shops, but they'll stock these, and this has one built in, and we'll get to using that later. But for right now, which you gotta see how this is going to fit on there with. Let's see, I think I got it backwards there. There we go. Okay. All right, so that just sits on like that. So you do got to flip the gauge out. So the idea behind this gauge is we're gonna line up our one nice thing Husqvarna, I think Steel's doing them too now, is even Oregon, is this gold link. Gives you a good idea where to start when you're doing your filing. When you get to that, then you're all done. But the idea behind this is you just lay this across the tooth, which okay, so looks like it just lays on here. So you lay this cross tooth like that, and then you take your file and let's see, I kind of like to get this closer, but it's just not always going to work out that way. I think it's about as close as we're going to get. So the idea, from what I tell, is you take this and you're going to watching your angle. You're just going to do a quick swipe with it. And if you're engaging both rollers, you've got it right there. So, and that seems to work pretty good. So, and then once you move, when you're going to go to the other tooth, right? So you're going to, the opposite angle, you're just going to go like that. And then I would assume come from this way. You don't want to, you can file the other way, but it ends up being kind of a little bit difficult. So let's see how that tooth came out. I think we're good. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So that gave us a couple little strokes off it, and there we are. So I'm gonna set this up here, and we're gonna do a little bit of filing. All right. So we got this set up, and I'm gonna put some gloves on because chains do get sharp, especially when we sharpen them. So a pair of gloves on, and we're gonna give this a go. And hopefully I can do a little better job with without having it I'll figure this out. There. Nope. That away. Oh. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we're just gonna couple swipes on it. Move on to the next. That seems to be working pretty good. That's making a decent edge on it. This chain for 32 inch chain or 32 inch bar is 105 drive lengths. So this is going to be a lot of teeth. So the things thing to watch is this is pretty well set at the angle it's supposed to be. If you think that's the hardest part, right? There's no angle guide. So it looks like you want to keep this to where it's riding and straight along. Kind of like that. And it does give you it does match the witness marks if you do that. So we are doing pretty good there. And again, this is it's a learning curve, right? I do notice this jumps around a little bit. Gotta be careful. That's the end. Okay, well, we'll do. Okay. All right. So here we go. We got one side done. Definitely a little prickies. So now we're going to flip and do the other side. So now we got to line it up so it goes that way. Whoops. Ooh, cut my shirt. Here, I'm going to turn this. I just need to get it over here, so I got a little better angle for me. I think what it is just harder on me, and I'm not used to it on this direction. I'm pressing too hard. If you press too hard, these files that I've got, these are, I think these are Husqvarna's aggressive cut file. If you press too hard, They are definitely grabby. They cut though. No denying that. The nice thing is if this doesn't turn out the way I'm hoping, wasn't that expensive, and I still got an extra raker gauge out of the deal. And I can always go back and redo this with the ease do or one of my other methods. But we're giving it a shot. Just grabby. There. A little smoother that way. Alright. Now we're getting there.
Some of these people just come up with some teeth. Where's the file? Probably just me.
Now what do we get to do? Gold link's coming, so this is actually going a little quicker than I thought it would. This ain't a skip to chain, so that's good. I think in general this is working. Just got to get the hang of it. Definitely don't need to press hard. I think that's what I'm learning here. You don't need to press hard on it. You just need to have the file touch it. I see what it is too. Okay. So the teeth that aren't the right angle, That's part of what I'm grabbing. This must have been where, there must have been a rock in the dirt that I hit. Because once this angle here, once top plate angle cleans up and matches the witness mark, we seem to get a little easier on the file. Because see here, there's 90 on this. There's a witness mark, and I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to zoom in. But you can see there's a gap right here. So the angle's not quite right. So that's, and see, yeah, it's grabbing like that. So until that little extra edge comes off, once it does that, file's moving real nice through it. Good. And we're there. I think I'm going to touch this one just one more time, just because I was struggling a bit. And that's a nice thing with the progressive raker gauge, using that, is the teeth do not, I will reiterate, the teeth do not have to be cut the same length if you use a progressive depth gauge. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Because the progressive depth gauge, the whole point of it is that it's going to set the tooth, or set the raker to the tooth, not to the average of the two teeth. Like I said, I'm just touching these first couple up. I had a little difficulty getting my stride on this side, so we're just touching these just a little bit. Yes, I'm a little nitpicky about the teeth. Call it OCD, call it whatever you want. I just don't like cutting with a chain that don't cut quick, and I don't like cutting crooked. Cut crooked leads to problems when you go to process. So I think the rest of these, yeah, this is definitely sharp. All right, so we got that sharp. Now we're gonna move on and we'll reset the depth gauges. So when you have a progressive depth gauge, most of them you get, and this one's no different. You're gonna have two different settings: hardwood, softwood. I pretty much never use the softwood setting. Softwood setting is only good for softwood, right? Pine, Doug fir, those kind of things, and that makes for makes for a pretty grabby chain. And you know, you want it to grab a little bit, but not. You don't want it so grabby that it's dangerous, right? So, especially if you're doing fallen. So the way this works is this is where the raker, which is right here, goes. It goes into this little notch, and then this rides on the link in front of it. And see that just, and then the little nub sticks up there. So what I do is I just go ahead, you know, some people do it as see if it sticks up. If it does, take a count of strokes. Me, I just run it across. I like that. And that sets your depth gauge. And you want to just write on, so you want to write on the link in front of it, and then this back portion should be resting on the tooth. You just run your file across. You hear it lighten up. That's it. Depth gauge is set. Move on to the next. Okay. You don't want to, if you press super hard on this with your file, you are going to wear out these cards quickly. You're going to wear the gauge out quickly. These gauges are made out of steel that's harder than the chain, but especially if you got a good aggressive heavy cutting raker gauge file, you will eventually start filing into the gauge itself, and then you're going to start wearing it out. Okay. And I did not, this chain when I started cutting with it was new out of the box, so I did not actually set the depth gauges. I usually will run on a brand new chain, I will take a hit at the depth gauges. Most times they're set pretty conservatively on their depth out of the box, although the Husqvarna X cuts do seem to be pretty good out of the box, but you know, that's an option. Oregon chains, I definitely hit the rakers when they're new out of the box with one of these gauges. Just because, and I've had it to where they're not set consistently. You'd think, okay, they probably do this on a machine, and they're not even set consistent. So we'll get through this. I don't know if you can see it, but this the depth gauge, when you file it, it will get shiny. That's a good way, especially if you don't have a starting colored link, a gold link or whatever, that to know where you have done these. I mean, obviously, eventually you'll get where you'll hit the link that you won't be able to. Nothing will come off, right? You won't get any resistance because you're good. But if you look for where they get shiny, you'll know. There we go. Okay. I think we got them all on that side. Did I miss some? Might have. Okay. I think what I did was I did not start at. Here's when you don't start the gold link. You end up with ones you miss. Alright, that one's done. That side's done. Now we're going to go and I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to do that. And then chain will be done. So I'm not going to bore you with watching me do depth gauges, but that's basically how you use a progressive depth gauge. It's nice that this comes with one. Kind of an all-inclusive solution. So I'll get these other ones done, and then we'll take this out and maybe make a quick cut with it. Well, that made a difference. Actually cut real good. Yeah, this cut's really good. Definitely clean that edge up nicely. Oops, down it goes. Timber. So, yeah. I was a little leery at first on it, but that gauge actually worked out pretty good. Ended up with a nice sharp saw. So, well, I'd say that makes it a winner. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Feel free to share. Until next time, everybody be good to each other. Take care, stay safe, and I'm out.